Hello friends, welcome to my channel Advanced Excel with Sachin. Today we are going to learn choose function. When we say choose, obviously choose means select, and when we say select, the two logical questions come to our mind. First is what to choose or what to select, and second is from what to select. Choose function answers these two questions. Okay. So this is what the choose function does. It chooses a value or an action to perform from list of values based on index number. So let's start and see how we can use choose function by itself. Okay, how does it work by itself? So is equal to choose index number. I am going to write in cell F4, and then value. First index number 1, I want that number to represent Sachin, which is a text, so I am writing it in quotation marks. Then index number 2, I want it to represent special character, so star and percentage dollar inverted comma complete. Then value 3, so 3 index number I want it to represent a whole number, say 1250, and 4 index number I want it to represent, say, a sum of few values or a whole number, so I'll say sum tab 100 comma 200 comma 300 bracket complete for sum and bracket complete for choose, and control enter. Right now it's giving me value because I have not specified any index number in cell F4. So let me just specify it. 1 Sachin, 2 special characters, 3 whole number, 4 sum of values because we have given sum 100, 200, 300, so 600 sum of values. Say 5 we have not specified, so it's not giving me a result for 5. So I'll just restore it to say 1. It's giving me Sachin. So this is how choose function works by itself. What if I put here 1.2? It's still giving me Sachin. What about 2.456? It is giving me special characters which I have predefined. What about 3.568? 1250. What about 4.5608? It's giving me 600. So as you can see, whenever a user is entering an index number which is in decimals, okay, then what Excel does is it truncates the number to the nearest lower integer and it converts it to the full whole number and then performs the action which we have defined. So here in this case 4.5608 is truncated to 4, and the 4 represents sum of 100, 200 and 300, so it is giving me 600. Okay, so this is how the choose function work by itself, right? So let's move on to our next challenge. Now this video is going to be a extensive video on this choose function, so I want all of you to watch this video till end because it's going to cover real life examples. So let's go to our next challenge. Now here there are this bunch of employees, okay, for which suppose I want to give a rating for their appraisals. Now these ratings I have specified in this F and G column, where 1 stands for poor, 2 for unsatisfactory, and so on till 6. So first of all, let's give the ratings. Now we know that ratings are between 1 to 6, so I am going to use a function in Excel called rand between, R-A-N-D, between. Now this is what it does. It returns a random number between the numbers we specify. So I'll say tab 1 comma 6 close parenthesis, enter, find, control C, control down arrow, control shift up arrow, control V. Now let's make this as an absolute reference by doing paste special value. Okay, Now as you can see, we have given these ratings to these employees. Now the performance parameters, that is this poor and unsatisfactory, so on, we can arrive in two different ways. Let's first of all try to use our favorite function vlookup is equal to vlookup. Lookup what? Lookup the rating. What is our table array? This is my table array. Hit F4 to make it an absolute reference, comma, column index number is 1 2, so 2, and comma, it's an exact match, so double click on false, close parenthesis, enter. Excellent. Control shift up arrow, enter. So vlookup is giving me this result. Okay, very easily it's doing that job, no problem. But now let's try to arrive the same result with choose. How we'll do is equal to choose tab, index number is going to be this, comma, and now let's specify the values for each index number. Now remember one thing, okay, now this rating is 5 does not mean that you should define 5 first. Okay, whenever you are defining a values for each index number, you have to define those values in orderly manner, that is 1 2 3 4 5 6. So for what is represented by number 1, it should come first. What is represented by number 2 index number, it should come second, and so on. Don't feel that because this rating is 5 I have to choose this excellent over here. No, I'll specify the values based on 1 2 3 4 5 6 index number. You have to do it in chronological order. So value 1, I'll say it's poor. I'll freeze this to make absolute reference. We are going to copy this down. 2 is unsatisfactory. F4, comma, this is for 3. Hit F4. 4 will represent good, 5 will represent excellent, and 6 will represent expectations surpassed. Okay, close parenthesis, enter. Control C, control down arrow, control shift up arrow, and enter. So if you can see, even the choose is giving us the same result. Okay, let's check this out. So let's ask Excel a true or false question. Hey Excel, whether this is equal to this. True. Control C, control down arrow, control shift up arrow. So you can very well see even the choose is fetching the exactly the same result. Okay, so let's move on to our next challenge. Now here I have specified certain dates, random dates, which are ranging between 1st April 17 to 31st March 18. And what we want to arrive at is a quarter number, that is quarter to which this particular date belongs. Now all of you are aware, in a financial year, quarter 1 stands for April to June, quarter 2 for July to September, quarter 3 October to December, and quarter 4 is for Jan to March. So we'll try to find this with vlookup once again. So is equal to vlookup, tab, lookup value is this, comma, my table area is going to be like this. Okay, hit F4 to make it absolute, comma, my column index number is going to be 1 2 3. Third is the column where I have specified quarter numbers, so 3, and comma. Now I am going to choose this approximate match, because if you can see these dates are random dates, so it is difficult to find exact match for that date. So I will choose approximate match. Now here I want to tell you one very crucial thing. Whenever you want to find an approximate match or a relative match, even if you keep this third argument blank and complete parenthesis, Excel will still find an approximate match. Here it is. So whenever you are keeping the last argument, that is this approximate match or exact match blank, Excel assumes that user wants to find approximate match or relative match. So you can keep it blank, control C, control down arrow, control V. Only when you have to give you want to find exact match, you have to give 0 or false, right? So vlookup has given us this thing. So it has found that for March, which is an approximate match, based on approximate match, it belongs to quarter 4. or say this 13 December 17 quarter 3. Ekdam perfect, no problem in here. So now let's try to find it out with choose. As I said, the basic funda or basic concept of choose is you have to give index number and you have to specify what each such index number refers to. So first let's try to find out index number, and that has to be a whole number. Now as you are aware, in Excel there is a function called month. It's a date function. What it does is it returns a month ranging from 1 for the January and 12 for the December. Okay, so that's what we want. So month, I'll say tab to autocomplete the function. Serial number is going to be this date, complete parenthesis and enter. Now this is what we want. Okay, so this is going to give us index number for the purpose of choose. Control shift up arrow, enter. So right now this is taking care of the index number in choose function. So now let's try to build choose around this. I'll say F2 is equal to choose. Now this month is taking care of the index number, so I'll come to the end of this index number criteria, comma, and now let's specify the quarter number. So for quarter 4, or for the purpose of Jan, Feb, March, the quarter number is 4. So for 1, 2, 3 it has to be Q4. So into inverted commas Q4, inverted comma complete, and we'll copy this 2 times more, which will take care of February and March as well. Control C, comma, Control V, comma, Control V. Then comes April, May, June, that is 4, 5, 6. It is a quarter first. So Q1. Okay, we'll copy this again. Control V, Control V. Then quarter 2 is for July to September. So 7, 8, 9. So I'll say Q2, comma complete. We'll copy this. Control C, Control V, Control V. And for last, that is October, November, December, that is 10, 11, 12. We'll have Q3. We'll copy, come to end, comma Control V, comma Control V, close parenthesis and enter. Look at that. And just simply Control C, Control Shift down arrow, Control V. So if you can see, even with the choose we can achieve the same result. And let's try to see whether these two things are matching. Is equal to, whether this is equal to this. Yes, it is equal to this. So the result of choose and vlookup, it's exactly the same. Okay, so let's now move on to our next challenge and see. Now in this challenge we are having this category ABC, and we are having different table numbers which are having different amounts for each category. So for example, in table A, for category A, the amount is 6, whereas in table 2, category for the same A is 66. We want to arrive at this amount based on the category as well as based on the table number. Okay. Now if you apply vlookup in isolation, vlookup is not going to give us the result. Let's try to find out what vlookup by itself will do. Vlookup, we'll say lookup value is this, comma table array. Table array will give the entire table array 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We are having this up till 8. We'll freeze this. We'll say comma, my column index number is 2, comma 2, comma 0. It's giving me 6. Let's copy it down. Did you see? So basically, even if when we are using this choose, it is giving me fetching the result only from table number 1, because the moment Excel starts looking for A, immediately it finds A in table number 1 or B or C also. So it is fetching the value from table number 1 instead of say instead of say table number 2 or 3, it is just concentrating on this table number 1, but we don't want that such thing. We want that depending on table number it should fetch different values for the category. So first of all, let's try to plot this table numbers. We'll try to use we'll use this rand between again, rand between. Now you know the table numbers are up to 8, so I'll say 1, 8, enter, control C, control V, or enter. Again we'll make it absolute reference with paste special value, escape. So let's try to find out now the values based on table number is equal to, we'll say vlookup. Lookup value is going to be A. Now table array will be taken care by choose. I'll say choose. Index number is this, and now let's define table array. So for index number 1, this is my table array. 4 to make it absolute. For index number 2, it's this, make it absolute. For 3, it is this, make it absolute. For 4, is this, make it absolute. For 5 is this, make it absolute. For 6, my table array is this, make it absolute. For 7, it is this, hit F4, and last for 8, my table array is this, hit F4. Close parenthesis. So now this whole choose is taking care of the table array. Now as soon as we complete this parenthesis, it brings us back to vlookup. So we'll set table array is done, column index number is going to be 2 obviously, and it has to be exact match, so it will be 0, close parenthesis for vlookup, and enter. I say control C, control shift up arrow, and enter. Did you see? So now based on the table number and based on the category, we are getting this result. So table 6, and for category A it has to be 6 times 6. Is it 6 times 6? Yes. Or say for this table 3 and category B, it is 777. Table 3, category B, 777. Right? So using choose, we are able to manage the different table areas, and in that different table areas the vlookup is finding the amount for the respective category. Okay, now let me just share with you one more trick of Excel. Supposing these things are not there, okay, and you have not done a copy paste, and your function is integrated function is over, you have got a correct result. Now to copy as an alternative to copy paste, we are going to use a feature of Excel called relative cell reference. For that, we'll choose this cell C3 and we'll choose the range of cells up to this. Okay, I'll hit F2, go into edit mode, and now control enter. Please watch. There it is. So using that relative cell reference feature of Excel, what I have told Excel that what Excel has done for this cell C3, it should continue to do the same thing for the range of cells. Now let us change this table to say 4. It should give me 4 times 6. Or say if I change this table number to 3, it should give me 3 times 8. Did you see? So with choose, you can help Excel to manage different table arrays and then use vlookup to find amount for the respective category. Right? So next, let's go to the next challenge. This challenge is going to be choose integrated with various functions. Okay. Now here is a range of cells where I have given just random values. Okay, and for this random values we want to perform these four functions: sum, average, mod, and vlookup. So let's see how we can do it. First of all, let's make a list out of this. For that I will press Alt DL, that is data validation, allow list source is going to be this M2 to M5, and I'll hit OK. So now you can see all these functions are listed over here. Okay, so now we'll use choose, but for that choose again we want index number, and if you see that index number we want to pull it from this C2, but in C2 the data structure is there is this whole number, then there is a space in between, and then there is SUM for sum, or say if I am saying 2, it is 2 space and AVG average, and like on. But what we are interested is not this whole thing, we are just interested in this first digit, which will give us index number for the purpose of choose. For this we are going to use two functions in Excel. Let's see how. We'll use value comma left is the second function, text is this, and comma number of characters 1. Complete. Yes, so it's giving me 2 now, and this is what we want for choose. If it is say sum, perfect. For vlookup, perfect. So let's just restore it to choose, restore it to sum, enter, and I'll hit F2. So now this thing is taking care of index number for the purpose of choose. So I'll now build choose around this, CHOO tab, go to the end of the function, comma, now index number 1 is going to represent sum, so sum tab, range is going to be this, parenthesis complete, comma, 2 is going to represent average, so AV average, tab, again sum is the same, range is the same, parenthesis complete, then third is representing mode single, so MODE single, again the same, and last is vlookup tab, we look up this 20, okay, 20, then it will be table area is this, no need to freeze these things, comma, column index number is 2, comma, and again we will choose approximate match, column index number 2, and because we want to have approximate match, we don't need to specify anything, just close the parenthesis for vlookup, close it for choose, and enter. Wow, so now the function selected here is sum, so it is giving me sum. Look here, 313. Now what I have changed this to average, it is giving me average 21. See, average 21, 20.86. I change this to mod. Mod gives a number which is getting repeated in the range of cells. So 17 is getting repeated. Look here, 17, 17, 17, and last is a vlookup. We have given approximate match, which is giving me Z, because there is no 20 specifically in this table array, but that 20 is nearer to 19 but away from 25, so it's giving me J. Likewise, you can integrate many functions inside choose. You just need to give index number and specify what each index number is going to refer to, be it function, right? So this is one way of using choose. Let's go to next challenge. Now in this challenge we want to arrive at shipping charges for a particular product and for a particular quantity, and again using choose and using double vlookup, two vlookups, we'll try to arrive at the shipping fees. So here you can see I have prepared this very small table for the purpose of index numbers. So first of all we'll build choose. Index number, we'll be getting index number with vlookup, so vlookup tab, lookup value is gold, comma, table array is this, we'll freeze this, column index number 1 2, so 2, and because it's an exact match, put 0, put false, anyway you can do. So this thing is now going to take care of the index number. Now let us define what each index number is going to refer to. It is going to refer to a table array. Okay, so number 1 is going to refer to a table array for gold. Hit F4. Index number 2 will refer to table array for silver. Hit F4. And number 3 is going to represent table array for platinum. Hit F4. And we'll close parenthesis for choose. So now this entire choose is taking care of the table array for the purpose of vlookup. So now let's try to build vlookup around this choose. So in the edit mode itself, I will say vlookup again. Give the quantity, comma, table array will be chosen from this particular choose function. Come to the end of the function, comma, table array, this column index number is going to be 2, and again is going to be approximate match. You can leave it blank, no problem, Excel will take care, and enter. Now let's use the trick of relative cell reference. So I'll select the whole range over here, hit F2, and again hit control, enter. Only control plus enter. Okay, fantastic. Just look here. So for gold, quantity is 3001. It is giving me 51 because it is in excess of 3000, but it has not crossed 4000. So it is like between 3000 to 4000. It is 51. For silver, say 3675. It's 50. Why it is 50? Again, it's between these two. Okay, but it is closer to 3000. We have used approximate match. It is giving me 50. And what about platinum? 1256. It's 75 because 1256 lie in between 1000 and 2000, so it's giving me 75. Okay, so here we have done these three things. First we used vlookup for getting index number. Okay, we did that. Hit control 5 to strike out. Then we defined table array for each index number. Control 5 to strike out. Then using vlookup for getting shipping charges against quantity. Again select two things and control 5. Now what if user enters here quantity which is less than 1000, say 50? It is giving me error because the minimum quantity in all these tables is 1000, and because of that it is nowhere near to 1000 also, and because of that it is giving me an error. Now we want something which will throw us an error message. Okay, so when user is entering say less than 1000, it should give me error message, please enter quantity in excess of 1000. For that we are going to use a function in Excel called IFERROR. I will hit F2. I have selected the range. I will hit F2, come to the beginning of this function. I will say IFERROR, tab, come to the end of this function, integrated function, comma, and what kind of error message you want. I will say enter quantity greater than 1000, the whole thing in quotation marks, and close parenthesis, and I will say control enter. So this control enter has copied this formula right till this last cell in the range of cell, because I have selected from D3 to D10. Okay, so now see, because the quantity is 50, it's giving me error. What if I enter 501? It will still be error. And if I enter here 1500, it will give me the result. Similarly, let's try to do it for platinum. 850, error, perfect. What about 1290? It's giving me the result. Okay, so in this challenge what we did is this: we have completed. Control 5 to strike out. We have used two vlookups, one choose and one IFERROR. So all in all, 4 functions have been integrated with choose to have to arrive at shipping fees. Okay, let's move on to the next challenge. Now this is going to be a very tricky thing. Okay, and what we are going to learn in this particular challenge is choose with array. What is array? That I'll explain you as we go along. So here are the names of the students, then exam type, annual, mid and unit test, and the marks are there. Okay, here the same thing is there on in a horizontal way, that is across the columns it's student, unit, mid and annual exam, and in the rows these are the name of the student. So let's try to build vlookup with choose using array feature is equal to vlookup. Now friends, when we use vlookup, these two conditions are very crucial. One is that the lookup value column has to be there in the table array, and second, it should be there on the left hand side. It may not start as a first column, but it should be somewhere on the left hand side, and the resulted column needs to be on the right hand side, right? But if you see in this database, the student name and exam, they are separate columns. Okay, and in this particular database where we want the result, the students are in the row, whereas the exam type of exam, they are in the column. So as such, there is nothing which is common in these two databases. So first of all, we will have to make the student and the unit, or student and the exam, as a unique record, so that the vlookup can find. So vlookup this. Now I will hit F4, but what I want is, I want that row to scroll but column to remain constant. So you have to freeze the column and not the row. Hit again, and to make it a unique record, we'll have an inverted comma, dash, again an inverted comma, and this is my exam type. So basically this is going to lead to a dash unit. Okay, hit F4. Now I want row to remain fixed but column to scroll. This is what I want. So we look up this. Now what is a table array? Now as you can see, the table array, we don't have table array in itself. Okay, because student name and exam are two different columns, but don't worry, this will be taken care by choose. So I'll say comma choose, and now we are going to use this feature called array. For whenever you are using array, open this braces. Okay, this K is next to P alphabet on your keyboard. So braces 1, 2, braces complete. And now let's define what this 1 and 2 are going to represent. So value 1 will be this, hit F4, and again we'll copy the same, this one, dash, from the vlookup, Control V, and the second column is exam. We'll combine it with student name. Again we'll hit F4. So this makes this, basically whole thing represents 1. Now what is going to represent 2? Obviously the marks. So marks, we'll hit F4 to make it absolute reference. We'll close parenthesis. So this entire thing is taking care of the table array. This is going to change it to say a dash unit, just as for vlookup, and this second is going to represent the marks. Okay, comma. Now it has bring back us to vlookup. Column index number is going to be 2, and it will be exact match. So I'll put 0. Now whenever you are using a table array formula or array formula, then you have to press Ctrl Shift Enter. Okay, what this array, what do you mean by array is that we are telling Excel with this braces that Excel, please treat this student name column and exam column together. Likewise, also treat this student here and the unit type of exam which is spreading across the columns, please treat them together and then give me the result. So this is what that array function is all about. And whenever you are using array function, you have to close the parenthesis and hit Control Shift Enter. Normally this people do call this function, array function, as CSE. Okay, Control Shift Enter. So Control Shift and Enter. Okay, drag it down and drag it sideways. This is absolutely majestic. Okay, let's try to find this marks for one student. Say for B, let's say B. B has got 90% in annual exams, studied well. Then 79 in mid, and 83 in unit tests. Okay, you can remove this. So this is what is choose function is all about. And unlike there are many functions in Excel, basically specifically index and match and indirect, and choose is also one of them. You can use these kind of functions in so many different ways, and just by themselves there are many different ways in which you can use these functions to have certain result, right? So friends, I hope you must have found this video to be absolutely important and useful, and I am very sure that you will use this in your practical life. So if you have liked my video, please give me a thumbs up, and please subscribe to my channel and hit the bell icon to get the notifications of my upcoming videos. Now in my upcoming videos, let me say I am going to cover only integrated functions, because the real strength of Excel is in integrated functions. So keep watching my videos, and I will be covering integrated functions. Many things I am going to cover, and they will have a big practical life example. Okay, take care. Bye bye.